Hello and welcome to another episode of What Travis Says. My name is Travis and let's talk about Doctor Who. Now before we get into today's video, yes, this is the same shirt from yesterday's video. That's because yesterday is today for me. I'm filming both videos in the same time. Like I said, I'm doing all these videos earlier in the week. And much like earlier in the week, we talked about that clip that was released for this year's Christmas special, Twice Upon a Time. But another thing that happens in that clip is the subject of today's video. The subject of Peter Capaldi's Doctor talking about his past regenerations in a non-flattering way. In the clip, David Bradley, as the first Doctor, asks Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor, "Do I become you?" To which Capaldi's Doctor replies, "There's a few false starts, but you get there in the end." So, knowing what we know about 12 as the Doctor, who do you think the false starts are that he's talking about? It seems that there are a few regenerations that 12 looks back on as false starts, that they weren't quite where he wanted to be as the Doctor. That of course they were part of him, but they were times in his life that he doesn't look back at very fondly. So let's start from the beginning with the first regeneration, Doctor number 2. The second Doctor, played by Patrick Troughton, was the first regeneration. He's one of my favorite incarnations of the Doctor, and I'm sure he would be one of 12's as well. The second Doctor wanted to see the universe, he wanted to help out, but he wasn't afraid of letting people know that he was sort of unsure sometimes. He was not a know-it-all. Though make no mistake, 2 always found a solution in the end. I believe that 12 would look back at 2 as a pioneer, unsure, but pushing forward. The third Doctor was played by Jon Pertwee, the James Bond action star of Doctors. He was exiled to Earth, he was unable to travel through time, but he somehow made it work. The adventures, the Brigadier, the gadgets, the kung fu. I'm sure 12 smiles fondly when he thinks back to 3. The fourth Doctor was played by Tom Baker, and I feel that 12 believes he didn't become the Doctor until his third regeneration. The charm, the voice, the lengthy tenure. Tom Baker was an iconic Doctor, and most definitely a favorite of 12. The fifth Doctor was played by Peter Davison. Now the issue with his time as the Doctor is that the writers rarely took any risks. His adventures just weren't very remarkable, so I feel that 12 would be rather critical of his time as 5. And there's that celery though. I feel that 10 thought fondly of 5, but 12, not so much. The sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, decided to make the Doctor a little more rough around the edges. It's just that fans and even characters in the show weren't very responsive with an unpleasant Doctor. I feel that 12 would think back to 6 and feel that he had a few temper tantrums every now and then. I mean, 6 was not the most emotionally stable Doctor. Plus, 12 would probably rip 6 apart just for his fashion sense alone. The seventh Doctor was played by Sylvester McCoy. Now, I'm sure that 12 wouldn't think that Sylvester McCoy's time as the Doctor was the reason that the show got cancelled, but the pompous and goofy attitude, not to mention the abrupt face following Colin Baker's iteration. Some fans enjoyed McCoy, but I doubt that 12 would have anything nice to say about 7. The eighth Doctor was played by Paul McGann, and his claim that he was half human on his mother's side probably wouldn't fly too well with 12. Sure, the Doctor cares for us stupid humans, but the romantic iteration that 8 had in the TV movie, 12 would probably think that that was pretty The War Doctor was played by John Hurt. Now, I firmly believe that 12 would have the utmost respect for the War Doctor. This is a non-issue. The ninth Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston, had just barely escaped the Time War. He was hurt, he was cynical, he was trying to find peace, and then he finds Rose. And as much as I don't really care for Rose in Doctor Who, she had a profound impact on the Doctor. I feel that 12 definitely has a soft spot from the time that he was 9. Hashtag never skip 9. The 10th Doctor was played by David Tennant. Now, this one is a bit tricky. He's a fan favorite, obviously, but how would 12 feel about 10? He was more human, he was dashing, he was running around in his chucks, he had a bit of fashion sense. I feel that 12 would be a fan of 10, if only for his little flares of anger every now and then. I mean, it shows that he cares. The 11th Doctor was played by Matt Smith, who regularly called himself an idiot and eventually dubbed himself the Madman with the Box. And as much as I enjoy Matt Smith's iteration of the Doctor, I feel that 12 would have some choice words for 11. The only saving grace is that 11 is the iteration of the Doctor that River went on so many adventures with. Sure, River spent a long time with 12 before going to the library, but 11 is the iteration of the Doctor who River grew up with. It's the Doctor that River fell in love with. So by my own assessment, I believe that 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11 were the false starts that the 12th Doctor was talking about. But hey, my opinion on this matter is not the end-all be-all. I want to know your opinion. In the comments down below, let me know which regenerations you don't think that 12 would really be a fan of. Who were the false starts that you think he was talking about? As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and you will see me tomorrow.